This morning we learned that an ICE officer shot and killed someone in Minneapolis. My deepest condolences to the family, to the loved ones who had to learn about this tragic event on national television. To Minnesotans, I say this: I feel your anger. I'm angry. They want a show. We can't give it to them. We cannot. And from here on, I have a very simple message. We do not need any further help from the federal government. To Donald Trump and Kristi Noem, you've done enough.
And I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you.
I want to start out by addressing the loss of life that we saw here in Minneapolis today. Any loss of life is a tragedy, and I think all of us can agree that in this situation it was preventable. I've spoken to the president today on the situation here on the ground. I also just got off the phone a little while ago with Governor Walz and spoke to him as well. The ICE officer, fearing for his life, and the other officers around him and the safety of the public fired defensive shots. He used his training to save his own life and that of his colleagues. He was treated at a local hospital, has been released, and is now with family. I encourage the American people at this point in time to pray for him, but also to pray for the deceased's family and her loved ones. We should all work together to protect our citizens. We should all protect the men and the women and the families who live here in Minneapolis, who live in Minnesota, and live throughout this entire country.
There's no evidence that has been presented to justify the shooting of an unarmed woman in Minneapolis. The so-called Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, has zero credibility. She's a stone-cold liar. We've got to make sure that the rogue ICE agent who pulled the trigger, resulting in the death of an American citizen, is criminally investigated to the full extent of the law. A congressional investigation should be underway now, and my Republican colleagues should show some courage and stand up as a separate and co-equal branch of government.
I just saw the disturbing video. Obviously, it's a serious situation. There's going to be a full investigation, as we all know and expect. Look, it appears to us, I guess, anybody who sees the video from certain angles, that the driver of the vehicle weaponized that vehicle against law enforcement officers and against bystanders. It was a dangerous situation. People make snap judgments in those situations, and it's a really sad outcome. Look, I do think that it's right. I think maybe it was Homeland or someone put out a statement that this clearly appears to be the result of this just months-long rhetoric against law enforcement and people encouraging that kind of violence. And so we call upon all the citizens of Minneapolis to be calm. We don't want anyone to be hurt. We need law enforcement to be able to do their jobs, and it's a terrible situation.
My second term, I am heartbroken as I watch the video, as I think of others who may have been threatened in a similar way, and I think there needs to be a clear, penetrating, comprehensive investigation. The video is pretty damning, and as a former prosecutor, I can say I want this investigation to be absolutely penetrating and piercing, comprehensive, and complete. Right now, my heart is with the community as well as the family affected, and my heart breaks for them. But there certainly needs to be investigation right now of this incident, and perhaps it's reflecting other kinds of tactics that have created similar circumstances, similar tragedies.
It appears that someone was trying to use their car as a weapon, and I was a two-time base commander. I had this happen once on a base I was on. Oh, wow. But I also think it's important to look both. We're gonna get the facts, and it's important for both sides to do that. So I really don't know all the details.
It's pretty devastating. Yeah. It's very scary. I've had friends call and say, like, what is going on in our country where, this kind of stuff is happening? And being televised, and it's very scary. It's very scary. I think that there has to be a check and balance. And right now, ICE doesn't have anyone overseeing them. They can pretty much do whatever they want, and it's almost like they get credit or some sort of accolades for being extra harsh and mean to people around them. So
it's truly tragic what happened. I mean, our ICE agents are protecting our communities, doing their job, and somebody tries to take them out. It's very unfortunate it happened, but we stand with law enforcement every day.
I'm horrified and infuriated. It is so unnecessary, so out of bounds, so excessive, and it made even worse, of course, not just because of the awful and unnecessary loss of life, but because of the administration's response and somehow blaming the victim when the video is unambiguous that she was trying to drive away. And you know that because even after she was shot in the head, her car still turned away from the officer. And so the notion of saying that she was weaponizing the car to try to go after the officer is just outrageously bogus. It is a lie, and it is more gaslighting by this administration in support of their lawless immigration dragnet that has now caused a woman to be murdered.